Pence is a little bit less of a free agent than those other two picks would have been, more in sync perhaps with the candidate than Gingrich and Christie, who have strong personalities and would have been exhibiting those strong personalities on the stump.
With those strong personalities, though, it also came their opportunity to serve as sort of attack dogs. Pence, a bit more of a reserved personality. What does that tell us?
Well, we saw Governor Pence recently in the last rally with Donald Trump take on that more assertive role. A lot of people saw it as a kind of tryout, and the view was that he did well. Also, the attack dog role, though Donald Trump has said that's a key, he's also listed in that having Washington experience, which, as you mentioned, Pence has. But Donald Trump doesn't lack for attacks on his own. He has that talent himself. So in this case, Pence's executive experience as governor allows him to step into the presidential role, but his lack of attack dog reputation may not be that much of a deficit given Donald Trump's talents in that area.
We also talk about his established conservative credentials. Does this help him shore up? Does this help Trump shore up support in the conservative wing of the party?
It does, and the key there is conservatives who are concerned about Donald Trump once he got in office, who would kind of keep him in touch with those conservative ideals and the socially conservative views and beliefs. The idea is that Pence would be there always kind of as a check on an unpredictable candidate like Donald Trump. Now, whether that works in practice or not is a different matter, but that's the case being made for his candidacy by those who have always seen Pence as a real leader in the social conservative movement.
CBS News political director John Dickerson, thank you. So to repeat, Donald Trump has chosen Indiana Governor Mike Pence as his running mate. There will be much more about this on your local news on this CBS station, on our 24-hour streaming news service, CBSN, and of course on the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.